You know that I have a workshop, right? I mean, I talk about it all the time, but I'm not the only one out there doing workshops and classes for DJs. There's plenty of conferences out there. There's plenty of ways for you to get better educated with your job than coming out and being a part of my little workshop, even though I'd like you to be a part of it. But I regularly, when I talk to DJs about this and they say they're considering doing one of these, their excuse for not comes down to whether they can afford it. Okay, the class costs this much money, the time I'm going to have to take away from work or from my home, the travel. I don't know if I can do the travel. But mostly it's about the expense of money mostly, and then the expense of time, which is, as we all know, time and money. Hi, it's Bill. This is Creative License. Thanks for being a part of my Dog and Pony Show. This is sponsored by Electro Voice and DJ Event Planner and Pro Bono Only and Disc Jockey News, and of course my workshop, The Entertainment Experience. So when I have a young man or woman who's thinking about doing this and they get to the idea, or rather they get to the reason they're not doing it being about money and they can't afford a thing, and when they're willing to have a conversation with me about whether that's a real thing or not, this is what I tell them. Can you afford not to take these classes? Can you afford not to learn what's new when it comes to your job, your audiences, the equipment, the new techniques, the new things that are necessary to be competitive in what you do? I mean, really, if you think about it, here's a good example. You're DJing, the fact that you're playing music and mixing music and playing it for dancing, and if that's all you're doing, your job is kind of being farmed out right now, and it won't be long, believe it or not, before you and your DJing gets replaced by Spotify, okay, or something like it. Right now, Spotify is getting better and better at mixing music. They're not great, they're not as good as we are, I get that, but it hasn't taken them long to get to where they are now. Along with the fact that we are connected so much right now, our phones and everything else, they're measuring what we like and what we don't like. They're measuring. I've got an Apple Watch. It measures my heart rate, okay? And whether I'm getting excited about something, whether I'm breathing heavy about something, if those sorts of things start to become connected with the Spotify and the computers and the digital world, if those things get created into an algorithm, which is just them knowing what you want to know next. I mean, they're already doing it, okay? The prediction algorithms are saying, you like that? Well, you probably will like this, and you probably will like that. And weirdly, they're right. So the idea that we're going to be obsolete when it comes to playing music at parties, when cameras pointed at us and things monitoring our health and our smiles and our excitement and our breathing and our cheers, will read the audiences as well, or probably better than all of us. Can you afford not to go out and find out what's going to keep you relevant? Can you afford not to go and learn more about being a master of ceremonies, or learning more about being a presenter, or someone who does speeches, someone who speaks for a living, a person who is a better performer, someone who knows how to engage an audience full of people? They're working on that too, don't get me wrong. Okay, Hollywood is working on having the actorless actor in their movies. So why wouldn't you go out and find out what's new and be better? Can you afford to continue to be what you're being now? Can you afford not to go to the conferences? Can you afford not to take these workshops and classes and online master classes? Can you afford not to continue to be the best that you can be, to be a master at the craft that you've decided to do as your profession? Can you? I'd like to know. I mean, you don't have to answer me, but if you want to, you can do it in the comments below. This is Bill. This is Creative License, and I'll see you next week.